We are not worried about making money. And the reason why we say that is we're going to find out how to scale.
What's shaking? Welcome back to All In. I'm your host, Rick Jordan, and my guest today is a speaker, high-level business consultant, serial entrepreneur. I love that phrase because it resonates with me too, and philanthropist. This guy has been in the venture capital and e-commerce industry for over 25 years. That means, hey, everybody, listen up to what he has to say. Loves sailing, scuba diving, fishing, and playing guitar. That's fantastic because I play too. And get this, currently working with Kevin Harrington, the original shark from Shark Tank, who is also a personal friend of mine, and New York Times bestselling author Mark Timm from Ziegler Family. Richard Mallion, welcome to the show.
How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic, man. I'm bringing the energy today. You ready to match?
I'm ready, man.
Sweet,
I'm ready.
Sweet, brother. Let's dive in today. So, you're a speaker, obviously. You heard your whole intro, right? Which is fantastic, by the way. I love the bullet points that we've got. Venture capital. That's a topic that I'm sure a lot of people are thinking about these days, especially coming out of last year. So before we dive into that, though, man, I want to hear about this. You're a scuba diver?
I'm actually a scuba diver. A lot of people don't know this about me, but I was born and raised in Nassau, Bahamas.
Really? Why didn't this ever come up when we've talked before?
Yeah. My dad was from England. He was a banker for Barclays Bank and somehow ended up in the Bahamas. My mom was a stewardess. In those days, as being a flight attendant, you had to be single. And she was from New York, and my dad used to travel, and my mom was a stewardess. They met on the plane, but actually physically met at a party, and I guess the rest is history. But it's pretty exciting. It's kind of neat to grow up in the Bahamas. It's a different lifestyle. Of course, people see the pictures, very laid back. But it was fun growing up there. And then, of course, once you get to a certain age, you go to school in the United States, and I kind of never went back.
Yeah, that's an interesting. You miss it, yeah. Do you ever get back?
A little bit, just to go over to Nassau. Mostly, I keep the kids I went to school with. Most of them I keep in contact with, and so they come over here to the United States when they want to, get her off. They call it the island, the Rock. So when they come over here, we get together, and every once in a while I go over there. It's kind of very slow mentality. United States is a lot faster, and kind of gets frustrating to go over there too much. But it's still very beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful countries water-wise in the world, and very nice people.
No doubt. I'm hearing the transition here that there might have been something that your dad may have influenced your dive, like the pun, scuba diving, your dive into venture capitalism, into VC. He worked for Barclays Bank, you said?
Yes, he did. He actually worked for Barclays for years. In those days, you actually work like 2-3 year stints, and then they kind of moved. He started in Cyprus, then went to Eleuthera, came over to Nassau, and was, eventually going to go to another venue. And that's when he met my mother, and actually worked for the World Bank. A little history. Robert Anderson was in the late 60s, early 70s, was chairman of the board of the World Bank under Eisenhower. I guess that's the 60s.
Wow. Yeah.
And that's how he transitioned to the World Bank, and then stayed over there for another 30 years. So he was over there for about 45 years. And so I got the financial background from him. A lot of all his friends who kind of influenced me. Usually, you kind of buddy up to my dad's best friend, who actually was a foreign currency trader for Credit Lyonnais in Manhattan, and so he became my first mentor. We'll get into mentorship a little bit because it's a big part of my life. And so I got, he kind of mentored me into the financial side of the business. I didn't get into the foreign currency side of it, but I did get into, raising money for small cap and startup companies. And we'll get into that a little bit.
For sure. That was going to be one of my next questions, is what first attracted you to work with startups?
Well, you get a lot of, and one of the things I look for now is really consumable products that are disruptive, that have an opportunity to scale. I've kind of incorporated raising money with the e-commerce side of the business. I'm looking for products that can, that we can test, that people, can really change and make a difference in the world. And so we look for those products. We have several that we have identified. And so we test them through Amazon and through our Facebook. And with that, we also have a conglomerate of investors that like to get involved, especially when there's good management. And we have the A team, of course, Mark Timm from, has sold over 92,000 products on Amazon. So he actually is incorporated, or we have incorporated his team and with Amazon. And so we test. We have 3 stages of testing. And if we get through 3 stages of testing, then we go into retail and we scale at that point. And then every deal I have, of course, I use Kevin Harrington as my spokesperson from the Shark Tank, and he gives a lot of actually credibility to the product. And so once we get that going, we fund it with our venture cap, our startup or investors. And once we get to that point, we pass it off to hopefully, to a more seasoned venture capitalist. But we get the ball going, we get it off the ground, and that's actually the most rewarding. Making sure that we can seamlessly get it from basically an idea to sales to scaling to taking it to a listed exchange.
That's awesome. How do you're saying you're looking, it's almost sounding like, have you heard the phrase, I'm sure you have, impact investing?
Yes.
Yeah, it sounds like that's really your wheelhouse, because you're looking for products that you said are disruptive. They're out there to change the world. How do you even figure out if that's it? Do you have like a checklist? I know you probably have some.
No, not really. But it comes down to, we're looking for, an example would be, we have a Sinofresh, a nasal spray, throat spray, a travel pack. So we knew that that was our first product. And, when Mark came, and we're looking for something that's going to identify with people that have issues and problems and make that, make their problems a lot better. So with Sinofresh, we knew that there's a huge nasal issue. We knew there was of course, a pandemic. People need to, clean their noses, clean their throats, wash their hands. And if they do that, the chances of getting whether it's COVID or getting the flu or anything like that is extremely limited. I'm not saying they're not going to get it, but now we're coming out launching a travel pack, which is a nasal throat hand sanitizer and wipes. And we actually are getting such a good response that we think it's actually going to scale very quickly because of airlines, cruise ships. People when get on a plane, they want to wipe off the table in front of where they sit. And what's actually disturbing with the airline business is they're handing out alcohol wipes, which the CDC is recommending alcohol wipes. Our wipes are non-toxic. They're non-alcohol. They're water-based. It's what we call the high IQ formula. And it's a physics reaction, not a chemical reaction. And so we're going through EPA and FDA approval. We get this out there. People are going to understand that it's non-toxic. If you swallowed it, you don't have to go to the emergency room. And so we're excited about that. On a plane, if you have 3 or 4 napkins together, it actually could create a fire. And, so I don't, I'm kind of mystified that the airlines haven't picked that up when you still have to go through TSA and they're taking bottles of, all these, cosmetics, and they're letting alcohol go through there. It's kind of mind-boggling, but.
That is mind-boggling. And don't you love the aroma on an airline these days too, when everybody takes out their alcohol wipes, and just is rubbing down everything, including themselves. I think I see people like giving themselves a dry shower with those alcohol wipes too sometimes.
And it burns. Alcohol burns your skin.
It does, yeah.
Where ours is a moisturizer. It's craziness, but we're getting there. It's out there. We got a lot of retail stores. We got hand wipes. I got a hand wipe here. A little thing we're going to be I'll bring this to the board of advisors and give them out to people. We can label them, private label them, put them on your backpack for kids, for sporting events. Actually trying to put this in Disney World. So we're
nice.
excited about some of the products.
Yeah, that's fantastic, man. The alcohol wipes too. You know that with the airlines, that's just a freaking marketing tactic too. That's just to give the illusion of safety. Here's a wipe.
Right.
You know, I mean, how is this little square? You're going to give me on a soapbox. How's this little tiny square of whatever going to protect you from getting COVID or flu or anything else, like you said?
And they claim they clean these planes. I don't know. The plane comes in, everyone comes out, and they come back in. Like, when did they clean the plane?
Yeah, I know. I feel you on that too. That's interesting, man. I love how you're taking these products and it's things that are disruptive too. I'm curious on the sinus spray because I've got I just put off a surgery because I've got to raise some capital this coming month here for a different project. It's like I have to be able to speak because, tonsils, but, nasal stuff going on from allergies. I'm going to try your spray too. See how this rolls.
Absolutely. I'll get you some Sinofresh nasal spray.
Nice. Thank you. It's just
homeopathic, all natural.
That's awesome. My nasal thing is allergies, and it's just always constantly inflamed. Is that where you fit in? Where
Absolutely. You actually try it. You'll like it. It's non-addictive. And it's, a lot of people rave on it. It's, getting a lot of reviews on Amazon. We like Amazon because you have to buy the product to give a review. On Facebook and Google, you do not. So the credibility of Amazon is so much better with the reviews. So we like getting reviews on Amazon.
That's huge for anybody who's looking to put products out there too for e-commerce. It sounds like Amazon's really the platform. They're more credible than anybody else.
Absolutely. You have to start with Amazon. It's you have to go slow. You can't. One thing about Amazon, people think you can just throw money at it, but you have to organically grow. They've kind of been very seasoned now, so the product actually organically grows with your own website. Of course, you can actually spend as much money as you want to build it. However, what's happening is a lot with our experience is a lot of people will go to our cart. They do the research on our website, and because they pay shipping with us, they actually go to Amazon, and Amazon's free. So a lot of people will do that. So we see the more we advertise on our personal brand, the more our Amazon sales go up.
That's an incredible concept too that I think a lot miss out on is that you still have to advertise your personal brand, but when they actually complete the transaction could be somewhere else because Amazon's the behemoth that's out there. So I'm assuming your products are all Prime on Amazon, yeah?
Absolutely. So, one of the things you have to have with Amazon, a lot of people don't know this, not only you have to have a trademark, but you have to have the R. You can sell on Amazon without the R, but you cannot do streaming video. Which one of the things that we found out is with streaming video, a consumer is 1,200 times more likely to buy a product that has a streaming video than any other type of media advertising. So video is so important, and any product we do, the first thing we do is we do video. We spend a lot of money on video, professional video. We don't do it I guess half-assed, I guess is the right word, but we have professionals that do it. And so we spend, before we even buy inventory, we're basically doing our videos and making sure that everything, whether it's, the right word, we want to make sure that everything's, the presentation is done properly.
Yeah, no kidding. So you see it. I mean, I see this all the time. All these internet gurus or e-commerce gurus that start, throwing things up on ClickFunnels, and they're saying, hey, I've got a 7-figure funnel, and even Russell Brunson from ClickFunnels has the 2 comma club, right? That means that I'm sure you've heard of this, where you have at least $1 million because that's 2 commas, $1 million through a single funnel. Then he gives you this nice, it's almost like a platinum record kind of thing as an award. Say, here you go, welcome to the 2 comma club. And the videos that I see on those funnels versus videos that I see on Amazon, they're almost like holding up their phone and saying, hey, you got to buy my sinus spray. They're like just snorting it up. Is that converting as well as something like you're talking about, the professional video?
I think it's converting, but I don't think, I think a lot of people, and one thing that, one of my mentors, Mark Timm, and I think he's, a lot of people's mentor, but he's taught us to be very reserved. And one of the things that we do is we can't do it with Amazon, but we do it with our own platform. Is we actually go in 3 stages. We go 500 clients, and we spend about 10 grand a month, basically on advertising, getting to those 500 clients. And we're actually testing all kinds of like 45 to 50 different ads. Some of them work, some of them don't. And then once we go to stage 2, we spend, which is 2,500 clients, we spend about $25,000 a month. And our third stage is 5,000 clients, and we go to $80,000 a month. And we're testing the whole time. We are not worried about making money. And the reason why we say that is we're going to find out how to scale. We're not looking to go make $300,000 on a product. We're looking to look for the next, and it's like think big, grow rich, right? So we're looking for that $100 million company, whether we get there or not. But we're going to know after we test if this product works. And if you do it this way and you scale properly, then you go into retail stores, you're going to get that 10x the company. And so I know a lot of people don't do that. They just throw things at the wall and hopefully it works. But this formula works. And Kevin's taken 21 companies to $100 million. Not every company he works with is successful, but we know that if we get out of testing, we know, and it works, and we can see what ads work, and we start scaling, we know we're going to have a successful product. And that's what, that's kind of what this is all about. Finding products that consumers want it will help them. And we know that if it's going to help in our testing, we know we can help the world.
That's incredible. So you're talking about these 3 phases. What sort of timeline does that follow? Is it flexible depending on the product, or do you kind of have a set staging?
It's flexible. I mean, it could take 500 clients, generally takes, a month, 25, and it's a 6-month process to do this properly. You can't, a lot of people scale before they're ready, and the deals they might spike their sales, but the company won't last because they really don't know what their demographics are. They don't know who they're, or is it a 30-year-old woman? Is it a 60-year-old woman? Is it a 50-year-old man? So, we try to find as many, Facebook, Google, Spotify, which is a music station. People go, Spotify. Well, Spotify, you could tell the demographics of somebody by the music they listen to. So it gives us a good brand or good idea of who's buying our product. And then we scale to that demographics.
That's incredible. So your testing phase is not really, hey, does the product function well or not? You're really gathering data.
Correct.
During that 6 months. So you can hone in on your target market after that 6 months is over to really blow it up. So you're not just trying to throw a wide net and spread yourselves too thin from a financial perspective or marketing.
Correct. And we'll spend $100 here, $200 there, $500. We had one ad that 240 people went to the cart and didn't buy. So we knew there was something wrong. But that was the same week that our Amazon sales skyrocketed. So we found out this ad is getting people to our cart, but they're going to Amazon. They had to be, because when we took the ad off, our sales in Amazon went down a little bit. So these are all things that we need to know before we scale, and we're going to go spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in advertising.
Free Prime shipping, baby. That's where everybody goes.
Yeah. And we got it down pat too, that we know once we scale, if we spend 10% of our dollars, we know we're going to get 8 to 10 times that in revenue. We know that for a fact because we've done thousands of products.
That's how it's supposed to be, isn't it? It's usually like a 1 to 10 ratio, or 1 to 8
Correct.
to 1 to 10 ratio is what identifies a successful campaign.
Correct.
Yeah, that's what I think a lot of individuals will miss out on too, is that, they'll think that they might get a 1 to 20 or 1 to 50 ratio, the unicorns that are out there, and they don't have to spend a lot, especially on product sales. And then you get to the point, it's like, well, no, that's not how this works.
Right. In fact, if you go down and all of a sudden your sales and your advertising dollars are 6% or 7%, you have to boost up your advertising because the stock or the product wants to go wild a little bit. So
yeah, so
someone works both ways.
So I'm assuming you're not developing all these products in your basement, right? And you're not coming up with all these thoughts. People bring products to you and say, "Hey, what do you think about this?"
Correct. So every day I get somebody who has a product, has an idea, and so we have a committee of guys. We give me some samples, and I send them out to the 4 or 5 people, and if we like the products, they work. And the committee, we say, hey, this thing is scalable. Then we actually then go to the next step, which is, get us some, can we work, where do you manufacture it? Can you, do you have the ability to, get this thing scaled up? And if they don't have the capital, we like it, we'll go find the capital.
It's almost like, I think anyways, that if it's a good product and you have the right backing, you have the right person there, the capital is pretty easy to find.
Correct. There's a lot of money out there right now.
For sure there is. I mean, especially coming last year, of course, was pretty conservative. But from an individual, because there's a lot of, I mean, even my 13-year-old son has a fantastic idea for a product, and I think it's amazing. I'd love you to meet him someday. But someone like him, let's fast forward 10 years, right? Maybe a 23-year-old guy. I've got this amazing idea, and you see the show Shark Tank, which is where Kevin was from, he was one of the original sharks on Shark Tank. And first off, you sound like a shark, which is pretty awesome because you're examining these deals, to see if you want to throw money at them. But when somebody comes to you to say, hey, I've got this product, what exactly are you looking for from them? How can they make it more attractive to you to say, hey, this is really scalable and I want to put my heart and soul into this thing?
Well, we're going to look, we've kind of narrowed it down. Is it a disruptive technology? Like, I have a hair rejuvenation company, so I know that it's a big business. So is this product, do these gentlemen have the ability to scale or to run a business? Is there management? Do they have integrity? And it comes to core values. One of the things that, for a long time, I was trying to figure out why was I not more successful? And so I identified really with core values. Are the core values part of our team? Do they have integrity? Do they have work ethic? Do they have transparency? Are they willing to work with, as a team? And so if you have the same core values as us, and, we've created a culture here, and this with some of the players that I deal with. It's the culture. It's the same thing. They're consistent day in, day out. And so if they believe in our culture and that we have a product that's scalable and disruptive and consumable and can scale, okay, then we bring in, we've created a group of people that we feel they all have the same values. And then it becomes down to numbers. Do these numbers in testing make sense? And if you have those three, culture, people, and numbers together, then we think we have a successful product. So, we might look through 40 products and get one or two. So, it's not like we take every product out there, but, it's just not only is it a product, but, like I said, it's the people involved and their core values. What are their core values and do they fit in our core values?
I love that perspective, man, because that's the only people that I ever want to do business with from here on out. There's been years in past where I was just, hey, maybe this person it was almost like inverted, right? Is this person a good business fit? And it wasn't, is this person a good fit for me as a person, or what kind of culture do they exemplify in their company? I had that reverse, and that was a hard lesson to learn here and there because that caused some heartache. It caused not only financial losses, but also some emotional taxing and banging my head against the wall.
Oh, absolutely. It's until I accepted that, and, I want to get into, because I have my little notes here.
Go for it. It's a good transition.
When Mark, Timm, who's probably been the most influential guy to kind of elevate my status here, is as a mentor. He got me, and he recommended that I read Zig Ziglar. And everyone, you hear Zig Ziglar, and you hear all these things, but when I actually started reading Zig Ziglar and started changing my attitude, Mark accepted me and brought me into his fold. And so when you start having a positive attitude, you start having integrity, you start, having goals and being consistent and doing the same things over and over. And people see that. They want to be it's like laws of attraction. They want to be involved with you. And so when I did that, it made my relationship with my wife better. My kids, they call me now when advice. Before they were like, oh, Dad's doing some entrepreneurial deal. Who knows if it's going to work or not? But so when they realized that I had core values and I started building this relationship with these mentors that are very successful and consistent, it helped in every aspect of my life, whether it's getting on the Peloton every day, reading every day. One of the questions I go, how are some of these guys so successful? And you go, they read every single day. They gather knowledge every day about everything. And so when they open their mouth, whatever comes out of their mouth is knowledge, is information. And so when you start, I don't need to talk to Mark, every day, 10 hours a day, 10 minutes a day, or 10 minutes every other day. Whatever comes out of his mouth is extremely good knowledge. It's going to help me be a better person, not only to myself, but to people around me. And so when that happened, that's when, all of a sudden, all these things started happening. Got to get involved with Kevin, got board of advisors, which is a great mastermind that we're involved with. And then, then I start meeting with Ray Perez from 360, and then the Inner Circle. And now I have a group of twice a week where I talk in the Inner Circle, and all we do is feed information that's going to help us elevate and actually be more successful and help other people. And, the philosophy, the more you help other people, the more it comes back to you.
Yeah, man, that's just truth right there. That's putting it out into the world, and the world always gives back, man. Whatever you throw out there, it's going to smack you back in the face, good or bad.
That's true. And, when it's good, it took me a long time to accept that. That was, hey, the more I help you, the more it helps me.
Yep.
It's the craziest thing, but it takes a lot for someone to actually understand that.
No doubt. There's a theme that I've read about you too. We've talked about you're looking for disruptive technologies, of course, but specifically you're looking for non-toxic technologies, right?
Correct. Right.
That's interesting. So what are, I know we've given some examples, like the alcohol wipe or the non-alcohol cleansing wipe. Are there some other products that you have? What are you looking for as far as non-toxic, and how did you come up with that?
We're coming out with a liquid vitamin brand. Vitamins are very big. We have Curcumin Pro, which is a turmeric product that within about 60 days you'll see it, which is a detox, a complete. It's a turmeric plant we actually found a way to make it soluble with it's wrapped with a protein molecule. We'll have a sports drink out with that, a meal replacement. I'm again doing that with Mark and Kevin. So, we find these products at U.S. Standard Hemp, which is a CBD deal, which we're going to do, an anti-inflammatory deal. CBD is still big out there. We have a price club that's coming out. We're going to be cheaper than anybody else in the industry. We're going to sell multiple products. So all those products, as you can see, are non-toxic products. Are good for the body, healthy, and not only do you have to have a sign, make money, but you got to take care of yourself and take care of other people. So if we do that, we're going to make a change in people's lives in the world. So
for sure, man, I love that. Being in the industry a long time, what life lesson do you have that's inspired you the most to get where you're at today?
Actually, just be a good person, really, just wake up every day and just don't let the small things bother you. I have an older son he happens to be a lawyer, and he's always like, just, do what you got to do, but be nice, just smile to everybody, be nice to everybody, and mind your own business, right? Stay within your lanes. And I think if we do that and we just smile, you don't know what the person next to you is going through. If you smile at them, it could make a difference, right?
Usually, yeah.
Talk to them, just smile at them.
Sometimes that's all it takes, man. And there was a story that I saw on my Instagram feed the other day. It was my story. I was at a grocery store a little while back, and she was around 80 years old. Actually, she was 80 years old. I know this for a fact because that's part of the story. And she was buying ice cream, because it was a gelato stand within the grocery store. It was sort of like a competitor to Whole Foods around the Chicago area. It's called Mariano's, and they've got the hot bar. They've got Starbucks in there, of course. They've got a gelato stand, a juice bar. She was at the gelato stand, and she wasn't struggling financially, but she was struggling to find her money in her purse. Yeah, and in this moment, I just walked up and I said, "Here, I got yours. I'm getting gelato too." And she just broke down crying, and she goes, "Today is my 80th birthday." I said, "Well, then happy birthday. Have some gelato. This is awesome." But little things like that, just a smile, man, or just stepping in when you see anybody in need, even something small like that. Did she need it that day? Not from a financial perspective, but it made her day. Just stepping into that. Man, I love your perspective. I love your heart. Richard, thank you for being on today. Everyone can find you at richard360.com, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Good. If you got a product you need to pitch, yours might be 1 out of 40 that Richard picks. But
I do. I have it's a sanitizing machine. I'm going to bring it to board of advisors. And I'm going to offer your listeners a great opportunity. But it's if you go into the airport and you walk in and you see this machine, you go to the machine, you take your temperature, and it'll tell you if it's green, that means you don't have a temperature. If it's red, the alarms go off. You walk in, and it sanitizes you with it's our high IQ, all water-based mist. I call it Sino Mist. And you walk in there and you turn your body around, and it'll rinse any of the pathogens, any of the viruses that you have on you. It has an ultraviolet light on either side. So the mist comes up, and the ultraviolet light will kill anything up here. It's a 175. So anything over 250 is dangerous. So it's not dangerous. And it has an ozone generator. So if anybody is interested in being my partner and doing a joint venture, I'm welcome you to contact me on richard360.com. It's generally $1,000 webinar fee I'm giving to anybody, the first 5 people that contact me for free, and give you the opportunity to do a joint venture with me and sell this to the world. It's great for casinos. It's great for airports. It's great for businesses, because people will feel, hey, if they're in a business, they don't have, that the person in there is not going to have a temperature, and they've been cleaned. And so the mindset of anybody, their customers in these restaurants and these casinos and everything else is, hey, that they feel comfortable, that somebody's not, spreading the coronavirus or the COVID-19, and you can discuss it with me and maybe have an opportunity to do a joint venture with me.
That's awesome. You hear that, everyone? Awesome opportunity to do a joint venture in this amazing thing. I just want to walk through it now, man, and get the experience of it.
Hey, listen, if you're unhappy with your job, you want to have more time with your family, you want to make more money, contact me at Richard360. And by the way, I'll also give you a free signed Mentor to Millions book from my 2 partners, Kevin Harrington and Mark Timm. Just for contacting me, I'll send you a free book signed by them.
I love it. My man, Richard Mallion, thank you for being on.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
What's shaking? Thank you for joining me on the All In Podcast. Click the subscribe button and smash that bell for notifications. Text me, 312-535-8520. Follow me on social media at Mr. Rick Jordan. See you next episode. I am Rick Jordan, and I approve this message.